Greetings. This is Scholar Saunders seeing what's current. I have to change a little bit of the lighting and adjust on this. Let's see. How's that doing? Let me know if the lighting is, if I can do this. Let's see. Okay. I think that's good. I think we're in good standing. I'm in the Cowboys room in my house. My dad's room is his office. Is the best place to record, I think. Um, I like that the lighting is a little bit softer. It's not as harsh as I think it would be. And you let me know if anything is glitchy or if the lighting isn't enough or too much. We'll work on that. Let's see, let's see now. That's probably too much. Okay, we're just gonna jump right into the show. We're going to be talking about Eminem and Melle Mel. They have deep beef. They've had beef for, I think, months, if not years. Melle Mel stands his ground. He's, Eminem wouldn't be the rapper he is without being a white man. He's saying he's essentially saying that Eminem is a guest in the house of hip hop. And he said, he gives him credit. He said he has a little flow, he has talent. But he's like saying, like many people do, that his records don't get played in the clubs as much. Eminem used to get massive amounts of airplay on MTV and sometimes even on BET. So now with the shifting landscape of the videos being on YouTube and elsewhere, Eminem's prominence as one of the top 5 hip hop artists, not my top 5, but according to Billboard, it goes to show how Melle Mel, maybe just hating the hate again. He may be out of touch. He may be misconstruing what it really means to be an MC. And Eminem is an MC. He's good for this hip hop thing. Mr. Troy Star Train called him the James Bond of hip hop. So there's respect there, but I have to say that Eminem definitely has a crutch. I think he has a crutch. He has a crutch on how fast he raps. He raps so fast that it seems like, oh wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's great. That's spectacular. That's amazing how he raps so fast. I mean, and then you have people like Twista, who was in the Guinness Book of World Records for a good amount of time before he was taken over. He raps just as fast or even faster. So you have, so many people already thinking about how Eminem is, a superior rap artist. But you have Melle Mel, he's saying, no, you know what? Not really. In a sense, he's subpar, but he could rap circles around Melle Mel. I mean, it wouldn't even be a game. It wouldn't even be anything close. Eminem would rap complete circles around Melle Mel. So Melle Mel could just be hating, and Eminem's just responding. He's not hating on the generation. He's not hating on the past foundation. Melle Mel is one of the architects of hip hop. He's one of the the greats. He's to be respected as well. But in Eminem even lets that be known. He salutes. He gives a shout out on the song, but he salutes the the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. So it's not like he's trying to disparage the pioneers and the makers of hip hop. They're both in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Melle Mel, I think, was the first inductee of hip hop, culture to be inducted into, along with the Grandmaster Flash and the Flash Five, to be inducted into the hip hop into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Eminem is also in the Hall of Fame. I think he was just inducted a few years ago. So it's just the same thing. It's just a weird situation that we have. It's just a generational thing, And Eminem's going at the fact that, or the supposed idea that Melle Mel is a quote unquote juice head, and that he's using steroids to beef himself up to make himself look buff and strong. But in reality, it seems that uh, we have Eminem being the target. Like he's putting himself out there as able to go at the people like Melle Mel that discredit his position because of his skin color. It's not reverse racism; it's racism, clear and blatant, and absolute. Because if you imagine the opposite, if you said like somebody were in a field where whites had created it, and they're saying and a great black musician came along, they say, oh, he's getting his attention because he's black. He's in the top 5 rappers because he's black. I mean, there would be it would be an outrage. It would be completely outrageous. You know, that's what it would be like. That's the whole issue is like. So with Melle Mel's disgruntled standpoint, it just seems like an old man hating on a younger man. That's what it seems like to me. Melle Mel is a man of substance, and I'm sure he is putting in his dues for decades going back to the mid '80s and early '70s even, or early '80s, mid '70s. Hip hop is going to be turning 50 in a few days, and he's going to be part of that lineage of people. And same thing with Eminem. Because look at all the other, there's plenty of other white rappers. They just don't have the same lyrical dexterity that Eminem exhibits. There's Paul Wall, which is he's a pretty good, he's a very good rapper. There's I'm just naming a few. I don't know all the white rappers, so but there's Fred Durst. You going back a little bit, he's a decent rapper. He had a few cuts with Limp Bizkit. You know, uh, this a whole list of other and plus Vanilla Ice, and you had the Beastie Boys and stuff like that. Even the Beastie Boys, they a lot of people call them cornballs, but they run themselves up in the Hall of Fame as well. Is it because they're white? Maybe. Maybe that was the case. Maybe that's the reason why. You have to tell me. I think it's because mainly the skill and the talent that Eminem has. He had and the monumental albums that he has created. The monumental albums. The Slim Shady LP, the Martha Mathers LP. Those are monumental works. They are very great works. So just realize the fact that skin color doesn't play a point in it. I don't hear skin color when I'm listening to music. I listen to the fact that it's a person that's using their brain and using their talent and their skill to make create beautiful, wonderful offerings sonically. And with Melle Mel, he's arguing. He's got people like Royce the 5'9", in his crew. He's probably better than Eminem. And why isn't he as great? Why isn't he in the top 5? Because Eminem is white. Like he's arguing that. That's his whole argument. He's white. The fact that Eminem is a white man. He's the grafted man, the white devil. I kid. But he takes it to a point where there's so many people that are engaged in this thing called hip hop, and Eminem isn't number one. Number one is big homie Hove, Jay-Z. And Eminem is in the top 5 though, according to Billboard. He is, put himself out there. He knew. And the best thing is he's self-aware. This goes back 20 years ago. To use black music so selfishly to make myself wealthy. Hey, there's a concept that works. All right, that's enough because I'll probably get a strike if I say anything else. But he's essentially saying, he's the Elvis. He put on the Elvis suit in the video. He knows who he's talking to. He knows who he's talking about. But he had songs like White America. Little Eric and Erica love my music. And the irony of it all is that he doesn't say nigger. Eminem said it on a diss record to a girlfriend that was unreleased, that was unreleased on the album, or officially. It surfaced, and he said it, and it's like, okay, it's Eminem. He's got skills and talent. He worked with Riri. That's the power of Eminem. He is great. He's one of the greats. He deserves his place in hip hop lore. He certainly has put himself in a position to be counted as one of the best ever to do it. Now, I like I said, I fault him only in certain circumstances, like when it just seems like he's rapping fast, and it just seems like, oh wow, he's rapping fast. That's really cool. But what is the content of what he's saying, and what is his flow? Does he have the right flow to things? And even if his music isn't played in the clubs all the time or on radio play, I don't think I've ever heard him being played on the radio, ever. I live in the tri-state area of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And I listen to hip hop stations like Power 99 from Philadelphia. And I don't think they've ever played Eminem. They may have. I might have missed it. They must have played them late night or early morning or during the day when I'm at school or work. I just don't recall ever hearing Eminem on the radio, but I've seen plenty of times on the videos, and his record sales are out the door. That's what Melle Mel made a point of. He made a point of saying, how his whole idea was to take the idea of taking the video play and have middle America, of course, buy his albums. A few black people in there too, but mostly it's middle America, white kids, white youth mostly, buying his albums and making them multi-platinum. He sold out the doors. He fumbled even with Relapse, and it still sold over 1 million records or 1 million streams. I don't know. Maybe it was 1 million discs at that time, or at the time it was streaming. He was able to do that. But that's the question. Are you good because you sold tens of millions of albums, or maybe even 100 million by now? Or you sold 100 million albums or streams because you're good or you're great? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. What is the fact that he is so in tune? We have somebody checking in. Respect to you, sir. What up? Make sure you respect the target. I know you had your pockets itching and your wallet was kind of light, but respect the target. I respect you, sir. And tell 2 or 3 people about this show. I got 2 people that I see in this room right now. Tell me about my lighting. Tell me about my sound. I want to make sure I get that right. So, Melle Mel, has a grudge. He's very befuddled at all this. He's confused. He's puzzled. How did Eminem make so much more money than I did? I'm a pioneer. I'm an architect of this. He's like a modern day Little Richard. And it's true. I mean, he is. He's one of the best. Melle Mel, he's one of the best, but he doesn't have the same juice as Eminem. Eminem does stuff on purpose. He has booklets. He's the reverse of Jay-Z, or what Jay-Z is now. Jay-Z used to carry, papers with him, sketches of rhymes all over them. And he would use them to, remember all his rhymes. But then he got to a point where, all these papers were piling up in his pockets and he hates stuff in his pockets. So he just tossed them and just started rhyming on his own in his head like a freestyle, but it was really a song. And he just started doing that from there, writing nothing down. And that's part of hip hop folklore for over a decade now, almost 2 decades now. So you have Eminem, who it can take all these booklets. He has booklets of rhymes, just completely sketched out lyrics, and he uses them to his advantage. He completes the cycle. And now let me take a quick break to recognize Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Go there, tell them I sent you. Hold on. I want you to let you know that this is a great channel. You'll be very excited to listen to the music. It's soul, it's R&B, it's quiet storm. It's very engaging and very relaxing at the same time. So Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. That's what my sponsor is tonight. My sponsor is Spirit at Smooth Tunes on YouTube. That is my sponsor. Now, I have a question in the chat room about Michael Jordan and Phil Knight. Hold on, I didn't see this story. Okay, so I'm not seeing it. You have to explain further. I don't have an idea on it. Yeah, I know who Michael Jordan is, but I don't know what's this? Is there a story? Is there news on Michael Jordan and Phil Knight? I didn't look into that. I didn't see. I just looked into it right now on Google, but I didn't see any news necessarily related to them. Tell me more, please. But back to Eminem and Melle Mel. This is classic. This is classic hip hop hate and beef, but it's also human beef. It's anything newer, because Eminem is a veteran, over 20 years in the game, 25 years in the game, 26 almost. He's definitely working on his his hip hop pension, if there ever was one. But with all the different talk about how we're supposed to be, enlightened by, whatever these two men are saying, it's more important to look at the facts. Melle Mel he doesn't have a body of work. He doesn't have a full body of work. They came out with one of the greatest songs of all time, Message. Melle Mel, part of that group. He had some of the illest rhymes, but he didn't have monumental albums, and he didn't change the game. Eminem changed the game, not because he's white, but because he had the audacity to point out pop stars, point out the pop groups and other people, and go into hip hop beef, and he definitely changed how the trajectory of hip hop and music would go. Let me answer him real quick. All right, don't explain more, please. Okay. So what we have here, if you're in the live chat, put a one up so I can know who you are. It's 3 and 2, 3 and 2. It's going up 3 and 2. There's 3 again. Make sure you like. I have to give the instructions, and also go to Smooth Tunes, Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Okay. There's so many different avenues that Eminem could have taken with his body of work, his legendary status in the game. He could have just been a one-trick pony like Vanilla Ice, but he had substance. He had content. He had a fallout. The completely displeasure with his mother. The trials and tribulations with his estranged wife slash ex-wife slash inspiration for killing her on a record. That's what Eminem did. He expanded and extrapolated on the culture. He made the genre better. He made it more interesting, more funny, more fun, more serious, more dangerous. All he has to do is say stand, stand. A monumental song. But he's not great on a level of, say, a Jay-Z or someone like that, or even a Kendrick Lamar, and not because they're black. It's just because he doesn't have the full range like Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z, for example, have in terms of what they wanted to convey in their life. Target today is $40, by the way. I see 4 people in the room. 4 people in the room. The target for today is $40. All right, thank you for the one, Keith. I appreciate that. Thank you for the one. It lets me know who I'm talking to right now. If you're in the live chat, please put up a 1. I know Keith just did. Thank you very much, Keith. Okay, that's down to 4. It was up to 5. But no, it's all on skill and merit. I don't care what skin color you are. If you can flow, if you got content that is substantial, if you can rock a crowd, if you can make albums that can sell that. What's true, Richard James? Respect to you. Target for today is $40. So it isn't how many records you sell. It's not how many songs you've made. It's the quality. There's broke rappers way better than Eminem somewhere. Way better than Eminem. white ones, black ones, brown ones, red ones, yellow ones. Hip hop is universal. It's all over the globe now. It's everywhere. You know, little white girls are popping their booty. 18 and 19-year olds and older. They're popping the booty on TikTok to different hip hop songs. It's a totally different game. Yellow girls, K rap, I guess you can call it. They're rapping in Korean. Exactly. Yes. Quality over quantity, in my opinion. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying with Eminem. He has quality and quantity. Because without the quality, you don't get the quantity. So I don't go by record sales. Like I said, I go by lyrics. And I go by if you can flow over the beat. I'm going by, the understanding of the fundamentals. Well, Richard James, I have to disagree with you on that. Relapsed was a pretty bad album according to his body of work, his oeuvre. You know, I think he's definitely in. He's not in my top five, but I can understand why he was placed in the top five according to Billboard. I understand why, and it's not because he's white. There's a lot of white rappers, like I just explained. Bubba Sparks. He's not that great a rapper. He made some good songs, but he's not like the lyrical dexterity of Eminem is so profound that he warrants all those accolades and achievements and accomplishments. He's one of the greatest. Not my greatest, but he's one of the greatest. That makes any sense. Anybody understand that? Yes, but those are just two songs, Richard James. The rest of the album is trash. It is awful. He knows it. He even admitted to it on many occasions. Relapse is just him trying, to find his footing back in the game. It was interesting when he talked about the mid 2000s when he was bloated and on drugs. I don't know if he was on opioids. I don't want to, confuse it. But he was on different, medical prescriptions. And he was just bloated and heavy and overweight. And he wasn't releasing any music. He didn't release any music for years. And, who came up in the game? Lil Wayne, Kanye, Jay came back in the game from retirement. And he was just saying in his mind, he was like, yeah, even Medicine Ball, not that great, not that great. But he said in his mind, he was like, if I was still in the game, none of y'all wouldn't have been hot. None of y'all would have been hot. I would have been the one dominating still. And I gotta respect that because I'm thinking that's true. He let Kanye and Wayne and others come up, and change the whole landscape of hip hop. I disagree with you on that, Richard James. Lil Wayne is one of the hottest rappers ever in the game. He is the Kobe Bryant of hip hop. He patterned himself off of Jay-Z and made himself his own character. He like Kobe did. Kobe had 2 championships that he won after Shaq. Everybody was saying he can't do it after Shaq. He can't do it without Shaq. But he did it twice. And that's what Wayne did. Wayne took some of Jay's flows, some of his ideas, but Wayne crafted it in such a way that he knew he would be able to dominate the game and do something that even Jay-Z never did. Sell 1 million records in the first week. That's what Wayne did. Now, those 1 million records, were they because he was great or was he great because of the 1 million records? I would choose the former. He had the 1 million records because he's great. So that's my little talk on Wayne. And that's, pretty much concludes my ideas on Eminem and Melle Mel. I think I teased that enough. Now it's time for my promotion. ruler of the kingdom of the air. Oh my God. Whew. You got to read this story. I'm putting it in the live chat right now. Hold on. Hold on. One moment. Just talk amongst yourselves. A tarantula hawk is neither a tarantula nor a hawk. Talk amongst yourselves. It's not the air, it's the skull. I mean, it's not the skull, it's the air. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. So, yesterday we blasted away the target. We had Spirit come through, and you know how he does. He drops enough on me already, but we're very far off. We're at zero of $40. So chip in. There's three or four people in the room right now. I see you, and I can't see you, but uh, I appreciate anything you can offer. I appreciate it. Oh, there, even better. Thank you, Richard James. Appreciate it. Now go read it. Read that, right now if you have to, or read it after the show. Okay. So this is all about identity. This is all about who this person is, how he's going to roll up into the world. Is this a baby? His father is saying, he's a little different. He's not the same person that he thinks he is, or the young, a regular baby, a newborn infant. He's very puzzled. He's wondering why this is going back and forth. Going with his brother-in-law, and he has to figure out on his own. Get enough information from his grandmother to a philosophy teacher, professor, and he just goes on from there. It just keeps going. His name is Green Stockwell. Green Stockwell has to make decisions and choices that will affect his family for the rest of their lives. His wife Gambina is beautiful and concerned, of course, with their own newborn, and is very protective over the child. What's his name? Peter Puffer? No, not Peter Puffer. I'm going to read it on the weekend. Salute to that. Salute to Greg S. Greg S. A freeloader. Greg S. is in the chat. Salute to the freeloader. Never donates. Never donates. Never puts in the dollar amounts. I have a $40 goal tonight. Trying to get some pay here. But if, like I said, this is value for value. If you liked what I'm giving you, return the favor and contribute to me. That's all I gotta say. Now, again, this story came from my mind, almost fully formed. And I didn't think I was gonna reach 3,000 words plus. But every word counts and it makes sense and it is required reading. Every single word, every bit of it. It depends. I don't know. I might be going. I'm going at 10 o'clock or 10, maybe a little after 10 o'clock. You have to read it, Greg S. You have to read it. One day, this book will be read at schools and as part of the. I mean, I can only say hope. Rationally, hopefully, and not just read it. Don't just read it. Share it. If you find merit in it, share it. let other people know. Let this be a flame and let it, spark throughout the entire internet because it's completely original. It has influences, it has its obvious influences. You're gonna pick up on different movies and books and novels that are within it, but for the most part, for the pieces in the beginning and the middle and the end, it is its own being. All right, Richard James, share it with your mother. As long as if you're trolling. That's fine. You can share it with your mother or not. Hey, I can't tell. I can't tell by tone on the chat room. Okay, not trolling. A salute to you. Salute. See, Greg is the one trolling. Greg, you can troll all you want. Just make sure you hit the donate button or donate. Donate via Cash App. My Cash App is right here, right now. That's my Cash App. You want to troll? That's fine. The donate button is Cash App. That's it. People always, especially like people like Greg, they go in and they say like donate button. I don't see a donate button. What are you talking about? And that's the best way to grab their attention. I'm grabbing Greg's attention right now. But it's a story that is old as time. No, that's a cliche. Um, it's a story that is completely invented. They call it a roman à clé. All that means is that real people have been substituted with other names, and actual events have happened, but in a fictional way. And then Greg says, I don't have the cash apps. I live a simple life. Well, you can log off, you can unsubscribe or something like that. Do whatever you got to do, because I don't respect too many people that come in the live and not support in some way. If you're just gonna troll, that's fine. You can troll. Do what you gotta do, but use PayPal, use some way. I have 405 people in the room right now, and I'm just getting, I'm just about to get into further on the story. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. This is a reference to a ancient book that most people know. It's found in hotel rooms, usually. If you catch my drift. And all right, salute to you, Greg. Salute. Read the story and also share it. Don't just read it, share it. If you find merit in it, share it. Salute to you for that. If you're not trolling, of course. You could be trolling, and that's fine. Like I said, do what you gotta do. Just make sure you hit PayPal up if you don't want to do Cash App. Now, back to the lecture at hand. It is a tremendous gift, to be in a position to do my work. I am fortunate beyond anything, and I don't want to say gift in the mystical sense. I'm just saying how fortunate I am. People say lucky. I say fortunate because I have no day job. I'm not pushing a mop. I'm not punching a clock to push a mop to get that guap. None of that. Having none of that. I don't have to get up in the morning. I don't have to go into the night, the graveyard shift. Salute to you, Keith. I think that's a good point. That's a good point. But I'm focused on the story right now. But thank you for contributing that. I appreciate that, Keith. Thank you. All right, so we're at $40. We're at $0 out of $40 tonight. We've had no contributors to this machine. We blew past the goal yesterday. We shot that thing to hell. Just blew past that. It was not. It was like nothing. So I appreciate people like Spirit. And speaking of, go to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube and tell them that I sent you. Spirit Smooth Tunes. That's the sponsor for tonight. That's the sponsor for the rest of the week. Tell you the truth, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. But this story, it could change your life. I don't know. It's just chapter one. It's chapter one of the Great American Novel. The Great American Novel is very famous. It goes all the way back to almost at least to Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, which I'm rereading right now, which is one of the greatest works of American history, American literature. And there's also countless other novels that qualify for the Great American Novel, including Catcher in the Rye and by J.D. Salinger and Beloved by Toni Morrison. So the Great American Novel, has almost been replaced because people aren't reading as much. The great, screenplay is what people are writing now. You want to you have the Great American Screenplay. It's gas instead of GAN. Great American Screenplay, the Great American Novel will, continue with people like F. Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, and John Steinbeck. Of those three, only two earned Nobel Prizes for literature. Ernest Hemingway and Steinbeck. F. Scott Fitzgerald, I don't even think he was considered in his work. Sadly, because The Great Gatsby is one of my favorite novels to read. It's so symbolic. I mean, I guess I'm symbol minded, because there's so many symbols related to that book, from the car to the green light to how Gatsby addresses people, old sport and stuff. It's just a wild ride, and something that I treasure when I read it in high school. The same thing for Scarlet Letter, and I've read Beloved. I didn't like Beloved too much. It just seemed like it was just like something hard to get through. I mean, obviously, the material was hard because it's horrific because it's just after slavery and the remnants of the Reconstructive period, and it just seemed to me very difficult to get through. I might have to read it again. I understand it, but definitely contenders for the Great American Novel are Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Great American novels. Excellent American novels. EAN. They represent to me in my life something that's so transformative that you want to change everything you are about your life based on these two novels. Her clarity, her overabundance of quality writing, of waste, carving away at the unnecessary pieces to make the best sculpture in literature, the best sculptures. The way she conveys her words and the way she plots her ideas is just tremendous. That's something I aspire to. That's something I look forward to. I want to make sure there's a chance for me to fully comprehend what she says. And that's the best thing about her work. It's ongoing. It's an everlasting thing. It's eternal. Her words are eternal. And the fact that she was not considered for prizes, which she probably didn't care, but like the Pulitzer Prize, the Nobel Prize, all those different awards she could have gotten. All right, Richard James is back. He says, I'm back. While I was showering, I was thinking, what was the inspiration behind the ruler of the king of the air? Uh, you put sir, you didn't put air. But the impetus, the inspiration, the 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 seminal moment was me ruminating over this story for the past 30 years. I might have to expand it into a novel. I've just written the first chapter, but the inspiration, Richard, stems from the fact that I know this character very well. That's all I can say. I know who this person is. I know what they are going to grow up to be. I've witnessed this person. I've noticed this person firsthand. So I have been able to ruminate and brew and steam and stew over all of these different ideas and then project them via this story. It's a short story because it's just one chapter. But like I said, I may expand it into a full-fledged novel and actually make the great American novel. Because that's what this is all about. This is not about me getting money. I'll get money either way. I like doing this. I like writing. I enjoy it. I get paid for it, and don't get it twisted. I'm gonna get my money for it. But that's not the whole point. That goes back to the quantity uh being less than the quality. You gotta have the quality. J.K. Rowling became the first billionaire writer because of her quality writing. She wasn't a quality writer. She isn't a quality writer because she became a billionaire. It's the opposite. Richard James, I'm gonna leave that up to you. I'm gonna leave that up to you. You read the story again, share the story again, and you let me know if this person is me. If I'm talking about this person, that could be me or not. Let me know. Let it be known to other people who are curious as well. Yeah, Keith. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I even got responses saying, well written but puzzling. And then they didn't explain any further. So I'll just take that. And like I said, I'm not trying to be cool. And it's the same thing that happened when I was in, high school and middle school and other places. They tell you write an outline, do a Venn diagram, make a a poster or something. There's all these things. And I really never did that. I just flowed. And I'm not trying to be cool, like, oh, he can be like Jay-Z and write without a pen. Well, I write without an outline, but I'm not trying to be cool about it. I'm not trying to flex. I'd rather outline. I've tried it. I just deviate from it every time. I completely go off the script because my imagination is always turning. Keith asked Skylar, who us? You didn't put the I, but I understand. I do the same thing. Don't worry. Your favorite black or BLK American writer. My favorite writer is Torre. Favorite fiction writer. Favorite nonfiction writer is Troy Star Terrain. But my favorite fiction writer is Torre. Look him up. I'll put him in the chat. Torre.com. Go there. You probably won't get his you won't get all his books, but you can at least get understanding. He has books on Prince. He has books on post blackness. But he doesn't really show his his writings in fiction as much. He has two works of fiction, a collection of short stories called The Portable Promised Land, and novel well, Sugar Lips Shine House and the Portable Promised Land is one of the stories in the book, but The Portable Promised Land is the book. And the work of fiction that's also included in Turay's oeuvre is Soul City, my favorite novel besides fiction, and The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. So there you go. Yeah, yeah. So I have 4 people in this room, and my target is $40. All you have to do is give $10, each of you. Everybody right now, all you have to do is donate to Cash App, PayPal. Oh, okay, 3 people are in the room now. So I have to do math and say $3 and change, and everybody should be able to cover the $40 target. If not, that's cool. I'm in it for the money, but I'm loving just communicating and talking with you. And I'll get it, my money in the rebroadcast anyway. So I appreciate you either way. Just know I know who are the free riders and the freeloaders. I know who you are. I know who you are. And like I said, give $1. Houston gave $1 yesterday. I'll take $1. I'm not Troy Star Terrain. I'm not on his level. I haven't earned it. I don't merit that. To say keep your ones and twos. He only takes 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. But back to the story. I mean, I'm so proud of it. It's I have other stories I'm proud of. The Scales of Splendor. That's one of my other ones. Yeah, I know, Keith. That's what I said. I was just messing with you. Now I'm down to 0. Okay, great. Keith, you must be the one person who's in here because it's down to 0 on my end. But no, that's okay. It's all right. I understand the typos. I was just messing with you, man. Yeah. So, ruler of the kingdom of the air. That is that is the whole focus of what I'm doing right now. And if I have to talk a moment about Vocal.media is a beautiful site. I say it's better than every other story site. The next one would probably be which I got kicked off of completely. um oh, what is it? Medium. Medium.com. That's super popular. Man, Medium. No, we have to go on Medium. And another one I've never tried, but I may start trying is Substack. I think you get paid for that, get paid for content. No one's in my ear. No one was in my ear about Vocal. It was an advertisement on Facebook in 2017, and I think Vocal just came into existence either that year or the year before, and I just totally took hold of it. Now there's 2 people in, okay, and I just took hold of Vocal.media. I just looked at it as another vehicle, another way of making money while doing something I love to do, and that's you have to represent and respect everybody, artists, everyone, because people do things without compensation, and that's a shame. That's like one of my favorite writers. I read only his short fiction. I haven't read any of his novels, but Harlan Ellison, he definitely said, pay the writer. You know, somebody asked him to do a documentary or something like that, and say what his piece was, and they're like, "And how much is this? You're gonna pay me?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you'll get promotion, you'll get a sponsorship, but not get paid." And he was like, "F that." Essentially, he was like, "Forget that." Respect you, Keith. Thank you. So, I mean, it's just something that comes, down to what we really are. We're a country that makes the most money but feel guilty for it and have to go in and be altruistic, not, showing gratitude or showing, benevolence, but lowering yourself and debasing yourself so that others can live. That's the main issue. That's the problem. That's what's going on, in most of these, different stories. That's what's going on in America and the world. In America, the most abundant, the wealthiest, the noblest nation ever devised. And we're mired down in altruistic wars, altruistic acts, altruistic everything. Everything is for other people, not for yourself. But what about the other people? Aren't they selves as well? How can you be a other if you're not a single unit, an individual? Respect to you, Keith. How can you be someone who says, oh, it's all right for other people to sacrifice and to be selfless and unselfish towards me, but I can't reciprocate that? It's like the homeless people that are, you know, gluttonous and want to take more than what they can chew instead of being productive and creating something and doing something with their lives. No, they just want to live off the fat of the land. And that's a part of this story. This story is just the beginning, just the start of what it really could be. What this story, purports is something that is very serious. It's what could happen. It means the beginning and the end of the world. That's, in a nutshell, what it is. Respect that. Respect on Keith's last post. He says artists and writers should be compensated for it. He's saying your creativity. I think he means their creativity. I'm not going to fault you. I'm just saying your creativity. I wholeheartedly respect that. True to that, sir. True to that. We have to have, a sense that we can meet each other as, whole beings, whole understanding, pieces of a puzzle that fits together to make one picture. But you can't have a picture without all the pieces to the puzzle. Those are the individuals. That's why I'm an individualist. I'm about individualism. And that's what this story is about. That's what this story even goes back to being about. Individualism. There's a famous, mythological figure who exhibited and showed individualism. One who made sure that other people, were respected and traded with them, but knew that he was the greatest and he could be the greatest human of all time. Or not even a human, he was a spirit of all time. And people would just malign him, hate him, stomp on his head. Am I giving too much away? They say stomp, stomp, stomp on you know who. Implore you to take the time to read this story, understand it, digest it, and then share it if it has merit. And I think it does. I want to thank you for rolling with me. Salute to my sponsor. We did not get the target tonight, but we blew it away yesterday. So I'm still, hard on 40. We're not going up to 80 until I get 2 days in a row. And respect and salute to Keith, even Greg S., and Richard James. Thank you all for coming in and being supportive and respecting this broadcast. I have to say as well, my sponsor for tonight and today is Spirit Smooth Tunes. You can find them on youtube.com. Thanks again and take care.